If you're running an e-commerce business, you already know how incredibly crowded the market is. So the big question is, how do you build a real, lasting connection, one that turns a casual shopper into a loyal fan for life? Well, the answer is brand development. Today we're going to break down exactly what that means, and more importantly, how you can use it to really stand out.
Okay, I want to start with a pretty bold statement. Your brand is not your logo. I know that probably goes against everything you've ever heard, but just stick with me here. Because understanding this one simple idea is, without a doubt, the most important first step to building a brand that actually means something.
So, if a brand is more than just a fancy logo, then what is it really? To answer that, we first need to get a solid handle on the core concept of brand development. Brand development is a systematic process. And you can see the two key phrases right there: process and over time. This is not a one-and-done task you just check off a list. Nope. It's the ongoing, strategic work you put in to build recognition, to shape how people see and feel about you, and ultimately to earn their trust.
And that process, it covers a ton of ground. Yeah, it might involve updating your visual look, but it goes so much deeper than that. We're talking about fine-tuning your messages, carving out your own unique space in the market, making sure your content works on different channels, and, this is the big one, building a genuine emotional connection with your customers.
Now, this brings us to a really crucial distinction that honestly trips a lot of people up. The difference between brand development and branding. They sound almost the same, but trust me, they are not the same thing at all.
I absolutely love how this chart lays it all out. Think of it this way. Brand development is the strategy. It's the why and the how. It's all the deep thinking, the research, the late-night analysis. Branding, on the other hand, is the stuff you can see and touch. It's the what, the logo, the colors, the packaging. It's strategy first, then execution.
And to make this crystal clear, let's look at a real-world example. The snack brand Chomps went through this huge transformation that just perfectly illustrates the difference between development and branding.
So here's the key takeaway. Chomps looked around and saw that all its competitors had this similar, dark, kind of masculine packaging. Their brand development was that whole process of researching the market, getting feedback from customers, and making the strategic decision to do something different. And their branding, that was the result, a new, brighter, friendlier look that you see on the shelves today. One is the thinking, the other is the thing.
Okay, now that we've got that difference sorted out, let's talk about building the foundation. Every single strong brand development strategy rests on three core pillars.
These three pillars are everything. First, your value proposition. What unique problem are you solving for your customers? What value do you bring? Second, your brand positioning. In this giant sea of competitors, what makes you the absolute no-brainer choice? And third, a compelling brand story, which is how you go from just another product to something people truly care about.
And when you're working on that story, it has to feel real, it has to be authentic to who you are, clear enough for anyone to get it instantly, short enough to be memorable, and, human enough to actually connect with people. If you get these elements right, you found the heart of your brand.
All right, that's enough theory. Let's get practical. How do you actually put all this into action and start growing your brand? I've got 3 really actionable steps for you.
Step 1 is to know your audience. And I don't mean just kind of guessing who they are. I mean truly know them. Because as you're about to see, the assumptions you start with can be completely, totally wrong.
And this chart just says it all, doesn't it? Chomps originally thought their customer was the hardcore CrossFit community. But look at this. After they did the research, they were blown away to discover their actual customer base was 70% women. This one insight changed everything for their brand. It's such a powerful reminder that data, surveys, and real analysis are just non-negotiables.
So, once you know who you're actually talking to, step 2 is pretty simple. Communicate directly with them. Building a brand is all about building relationships. And you know what? Relationships are built one conversation at a time.
This just means showing up where your people are. When you actually respond to comments and DMs, when you repost content from your customers, when you host a Q&A, you're not just marketing. You're building a loyal community that feels seen, heard, and genuinely valued.
And that brings us to step 3. You know your audience, you're talking to them. Now you have to make sure the content you're creating and the messages you're sharing actually connect with them.
So before you post anything, just ask yourself these 3 simple questions. First, what's my role here? Am I trying to educate, entertain, or inspire? Second, where is my audience really spending their time online? And third, what tone of voice actually reflects my brand's core values? Answering these first will make your content so much more effective.
So, as we start to wrap this up, let's just zoom out for a second and look at the big picture. What does all of this really mean for the future of your brand?
If you take away just one single thing from our chat today, please let it be this. Brand development is a marathon, not a sprint. Your audience will change, the market is going to change, and your brand has to be ready to learn, listen, and adapt right along with them. It never really ends.
So I'm going to leave you with a final thought to take with you. Looking at everything we've covered, from really understanding your audience to refining your story, what is the one step, big or small, that you're going to take for your brand today?